please check out azreveals.com and azreveals on social channels. So let's go ahead and focus on previous suspensions. So I've been suspended about 5 or 6 times. You almost start to lose track over those 10 years. And the one I want to highlight the most is because you're like, this is one that Amazon directly caused. It's funny, I didn't even prepare my little prop here, but I'll grab it. So this is a generic brown box. Amazon uses it to repack shoes, like if the shoe box from Nike or whatever gets damaged in transit, and then they just say, you know, like, hey, this has been repacked. So what happened was the brand Saucony running shoes, we sold a pair of those and the customer must have bought it. I don't know, decided they didn't like it or didn't fit or whatever, so they returned it. In the return process, the box must have gotten damaged. So Amazon repacked it, one of these brown boxes, another customer ordered it. That customer accused us of, this is a fake, this is a counterfeit product, this is not a real Saucony product. What would make them think that? Well, probably the brown box. Who put it in the brown box? Not me. You know what I mean? So it's like, they did that. They caused that claim that caused me to get suspended. And our account was down for, I think, about 2.5 weeks. I'm not going to get inflammatory here. I don't remember the exact amount of like lost revenue or whatever that would be, but I can tell you it was definitely well into the 5 figures. I don't know, 40 grand, 50 grand, something like that at that time. We were selling a lot of shoes and clothes. Cost by being down for those 2.5 weeks, right? So finally, like most sellers, reality is, as an Amazon seller, it's really not if you're getting suspended, it's when you're getting suspended. It will come. It pretty much happens to everybody. It is true that most of the time you do get reinstated. That is what happened to me the other 5 or 6 times. So anytime you come out getting all angry about suspensions, the naysayer people that are like so happy to cheer Amazon on will always say like, oh, but most of the time you get reinstated. That is true. But finally you do, right? In most cases, in that case we did. And it's like, yeah, yes, we're reinstated. Good. Everyone come back to work. Let's carry on. Then you stop thinking for a minute, you're like, but where's the apology? Where's like the accountability? Like, excuse me, like you caused this. How do you not have to pay me or have any damages or anything? Like, this is crazy. Where else can you get away with that? And then of course, you're, well, why don't you arbitrate against them? Why don't you ever? You're like, yeah, but of course, what is that going to cost, etc. I mean, I know legal things have costs, but you're like, it just seems like how are they able to get away with it? It's so lopsided, right? So that was one suspension. All the other suspensions were related to things like basically customers claim like, oh, I got these Nike shoes and they're fake, or, oh, I got this thing and I think that it's fake, or whatever. You're like, okay, like I get it. I mean, people have, if there's really something fake, of course, customers should have a way to report that or whatever. You're like, but based on what? What makes you say that, right? Because you don't like it, because you want your money back. And I'm sure once in a while there may be moments where it is a legitimate claim. For example, like all the NBA and NFL stuff we were looking at the beginning of this video. But most of the time, it's just like, for whatever reason, the customer says or thinks this, and just like, they're just simply wrong. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but you're just wrong. I don't know where you got to thinking that, but I mean, I have my receipts, I have my invoices, you're just wrong, sorry, right? And that's why most sellers get reinstated, because they show that and they get put back on. But again, you're like, where is the vetting process of this? The legal system in this country, it works where you're innocent until proven guilty. So how do you get to flip that and say you're guilty until proven innocent and do that at scale to all of your sellers? For the decade that I've been doing it, and I don't know, whatever, the 20-something years you've been allowing sellers, like it's so wrong, right? And so another perfect example of this that just shows like the craziness of all this is I've been suspended for, you're selling counterfeit sports cards, right? You're like, well, I've been around sports cards since I was 5 years old, so I'm pretty sure I know what's real and what's not. For example, stuff I showed you in the beginning, but okay, fair enough. Someone claims I sold that. So again, on what basis? There's never any real basis or explanation, but fine, okay. So let me try to prove it to you. Well, in those cases, you guys all know, you buy a pack of cards at a store, right? You open it up, you take the contents out, you end up with single cards like this, right? So the person will claim like, oh, I got something fake. And you're like, okay, so this pack has a UPC code on it, right? That's traceable. I can provide you an invoice or receipt or something, right? Once I open this pack, the cards inside, say I like this John Elway card and I think someone else wants to buy it. I want to sell you this John Elway card. Where's the UPC code? Where's the receipt? Where's the barcode? It doesn't exist. But any consumer with half a brain knows that is the way cards work, right? So I just do my best to vet this and I sell it to you and you hopefully trust me and you can verify the logos, the licensing, whatever, this is a legit card and you buy it, right? And so it's like, for someone to say it's not, and then Amazon, we need to see your receipts and invoices. We need to see your receipts and invoices. And you try to explain, I'm so sorry, but that was a single sports card. There is no such thing. We need to see your receipts and invoices. I don't know. Do you want to see this? I mean, it came out of this packet. Here's my receipt. We need to see your receipts and invoices. That matches John Elway score 2022, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, it doesn't exist. Sorry. We need to see the invoice. I don't know, like what, like, and you're like, my whole account is suspended and down. And like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like talking to Martians. How do you not understand what I'm saying, right? But this is the norm. This is like how Amazon seller performance and the suspensions work. So you're just like bash your head against the wall. Like, how am I ever going to get out of this? How am I going to explain? Like, I'm living in a fictional world, right? And so this has happened so many times to us. And again, you're guilty until proven innocent, but you can't prove your innocence based on the data. And it's just like you live in this little vacuum, and like there's just like nobody sort of that can like help you get out of the thing. And eventually enough appeals, and finally suddenly you get the yes. But again, like, where is the compensation for the damages? Where is the apology? Where is the ownership of like, this is wrong, this should not be happening? And so again, the history of the 10 years, you've been suspended 5 or 6 times. This one time I will own, I still think it's crazy. I hope all of you think it's crazy, but if you want to say that I'm guilty, that is your prerogative. But all this other stuff I'm explaining to you, like, I mean, come on, it is very clear that the vast majority of suspensions are not correct. They're unfair. They do all these damages that are unnecessary. And it's just, the whole system is so broken. Please check out azreveals.com and azreveals on social channels.